through the water up to a distance of about 2,000 yards from the shore. There's all hell to pay directly ahead of us. The beach looks as though it's practically on fire.
These 8 square miles of volcanic rock are situated halfway between the Japanese mainland and the U.S. bases on the Mariana Islands. From the Marianas airfields, a bombing campaign is launched against the war machine of Japan. But on this 15-hour round trip, American B-29 Superfortress bombers suffer heavy losses. Damaged aircraft are forced to ditch in the hostile Pacific, a death sentence for the crew. If Iwo Jima's 2 Japanese airfields are captured, there would be a base for bombers to make emergency landings and for fighter planes to escort them to their targets. The island must be taken. In the months before the invasion, aerial reconnaissance experts have examined thousands of photographs of this island. For the first time, these original high-resolution images have been layered over a 3-dimensional contour map, creating a unique perspective on the battle unfolding below.
First thought was, how in the world can we go through this sand? You'd step and go up this ramp, and you'd go up 1 step and you go back down a half a step, and that's what kind of an island is this?
We talk about sand, but they weren't. They were volcanic crystals, and they didn't adhere to each other. They didn't compact or anything like that. And it was like digging in a wheat bin, you know? You dug in it, it would just fill back up.
It was like walking on BBs, and trying to run in it was impossible.
This ugly, smelly, dirty little island was called Iwo Jima, which means Sulphur Island, and accounted for the smell. Once off the beaches, it was a collection of volcanic ash and a terrible, yellow, craggy, rocky, lifeless soil. It was a jungle of ash, coral, and stone. Only 2.5 miles wide and 4 miles long, its small size was about twice the square miles of Dodge. Maybe that's how Cretny was able to find Dad. Anchoring one end was a well-fortified Mount Suribachi. The rest of the island was inundated with coastal defense guns, sniper holes, machine gun nests, mortar emplacements, and pillboxes. This was not any island. This was Japanese soil. And on this perfect killing field, the invading Marines would soon face a fanatical enemy, warrior against warrior, in a fight to the death, with over half either killed or wounded.
Commanding the island's defense is one of the Japanese High Command's toughest officers, Lieutenant General Tadamichi Kurabayashi. In June 1944, he is sent to Iwo with a mission to save the island or die fighting. In the next 3 months, he moves in guns, tanks, and troops, doubles the size of his fighting force, and does his best to render the island impregnable. Men arrive at the rate of 500 a day. By October, 21,000 troops are on the island. The Japanese laborers work under horrendous conditions in sweltering heat to fortify Iwo Jima. Kurabayashi has decided on the best mode of defense for Iwo Jima. There will be none of the typically Japanese banzai charges, no suicide counterattacks at the beachheads. The commander has ordered his troops to mount a static defense with everybody dug in. He divides the island into separate defensive sectors, then rings each one with guns, mortars, landmines, and bunkers 5 feet thick. Underground, the island is a honeycomb of rock and cement. 5 levels of tunnels, most of them 30 feet below ground, connect the entire complex. When the attack comes, any advance will be made over dead Japanese bodies.
and our entire strength to defense of this island. We shall grasp bombs, charge the enemy tank, and destroy them. We shall infiltrate into the midst of the enemy, annihilate them. With every salvo, we will without fail kill the enemy. Each man will 我々はゲリラ戦で敵を苦しめるのだ。
My biggest concern was that I'd run out of luck, run out of chances. How many days can you stay there and not get killed?
You just have to take it as it comes. And if you're strong enough to stand it, you can stand it. If you're not strong enough, you're going to crack.
If you didn't get wounded, you were going to die. That's just about the size of it. There was no getting off the island without getting hit somewhere.
You could smell the cordite, the gunpowder, very readily, and there were sights of there were sights that you would see, but you would not want to share them with anybody.